a land of many faces, Yugoslavia's beginnings. Yugoslavia, a country in Southeast Europe, was formed after World War I. It was made up of 6 republics: Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro and Macedonia. 2 autonomous provinces, Vojvodina and Kosovo, were also part of Serbia. Each republic had its own distinct culture, language and history. Serbs were the largest group, followed by Croats, Bosniaks, Slovenes, Albanians, Macedonians and Montenegrins. This mix of ethnicities would later lead to tensions. Josip Broz Tito, a communist leader, ruled Yugoslavia from 1945 until his death in 1980. He held the country together. Tito suppressed nationalism and promoted a Yugoslav identity. After Tito's death, Yugoslavia faced economic problems. Inflation and unemployment rose. This made people unhappy and fueled ethnic tensions. Cracks in the foundation, nationalism and unrest. After Tito's death, old rivalries resurfaced in Yugoslavia. Nationalism grew in the different republics. Leaders used nationalist feelings to gain power. Slobodan Milosevic, a Serbian politician, rose to prominence in the late 1980s. He exploited Serbian nationalism, promising to revive Serbia's dominance. This alarmed other republics. Economic inequalities between the republics worsened tensions. Slovenia and Croatia were wealthier and resented subsidizing poorer regions. They wanted more autonomy. The decline of communism in Eastern Europe in the late 1980s also influenced Yugoslavia. People demanded more freedom and democracy. The communist system, which had held the country together, was crumbling. The Slovenians spring first to break away. Slovenia, the most prosperous republic, was the first to break away from Yugoslavia. In 1990, it held its first free elections. The newly elected government favored independence. Slovenia declared independence on June 25, 1991. The Yugoslav army tried to stop it, but faced little resistance. The 10-day war was short and resulted in Slovenia's independence. Slovenia's successful secession encouraged other republics to seek independence. Croatia followed suit, declaring its independence the same day as Slovenia. However, Croatia's path to freedom would be much more violent. War engulfs Croatia. A fight for independence. Croatia, with a significant Serbian minority, faced a more complex situation than Slovenia. Serbs in Croatia, backed by the Yugoslav army, opposed independence. They wanted to remain part of Serbia. The Croatian War of Independence broke out in 1991. The Yugoslav army, dominated by Serbs, intervened on behalf of Croatian Serbs. Fierce fighting erupted across Croatia. The war was marked by brutality and ethnic cleansing. Both sides committed atrocities. Cities like Vukovar and Dubrovnik were heavily damaged during the conflict. Section 5. Bosnia's agony, ethnic cleansing and genocide. Bosnia and Herzegovina, the most ethnically diverse republic, became the next battleground. It had a mix of Bosniaks, or Muslims, Serbs and Croats. Bosniaks favored independence, while Serbs and Croats wanted to join Serbia and Croatia, respectively. Bosnia declared independence in 1992. This triggered a brutal war that lasted for 3.5 years. The war was characterized by ethnic cleansing, as each group tried to carve out its own territory. The Srebrenica massacre in 1995, where Serbian forces killed over 8,000 Bosniak men and boys, was the worst atrocity in Europe since World War II. It was declared genocide by international courts. Section 6. Kosovo's cry for freedom, a province divided. Kosovo, a province within Serbia with a majority Albanian population, also sought independence. However, Serbia considered Kosovo its historic heartland and refused to let it go. In the late 1990s, the Kosovo Liberation Army, an Albanian guerrilla group, emerged to fight for independence. Serbia responded with a brutal crackdown, displacing hundreds of thousands of Albanians. The conflict in Kosovo escalated into a major international crisis in 1999. NATO intervened with airstrikes against Serbia to stop the violence and protect Kosovo's Albanian population. Section 7. The West intervenes. NATO's bombing of Yugoslavia. NATO's intervention in Kosovo was controversial. It was the first time NATO had used force against a sovereign country without UN Security Council authorization. Russia strongly opposed the intervention. The bombing campaign lasted for 78 days and caused significant damage to Yugoslav infrastructure. It also resulted in civilian casualties, which further inflamed anti-Western sentiment in Serbia. The bombing forced Serbia to withdraw its forces from Kosovo. Kosovo was placed under UN administration and NATO troops were deployed to keep the peace. The conflict in Kosovo marked a turning point in the Yugoslav wars. Section 8. The legacy of shattered dreams, a region transformed. The breakup of Yugoslavia had a profound impact on the Balkan region. It left a legacy of shattered dreams, ethnic divisions, and economic hardship. Millions of people were displaced from their homes during the wars. The wars also had a devastating impact on the region's infrastructure and economy. Rebuilding and reconciliation have been slow and challenging processes. The scars of the conflict run deep. The international community played a complex role in the Yugoslav wars. It was criticized for not intervening sooner to stop the violence. The UN peacekeeping mission in Bosnia was widely seen as a failure. Section 9. Conclusion. Lessons from Yugoslavia's collapse. The breakup of Yugoslavia offers important lessons about the dangers of unchecked nationalism, ethnic conflict, and the failure of international diplomacy. It also highlights the importance of human rights and the need for early intervention to prevent mass atrocities. The legacy of Yugoslavia continues to shape the political landscape of the Balkans. The region still grapples with the aftershocks of the conflict. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of tolerance and understanding.